Hello, thank you for being here. This is the second episode of my ongoing series where I sit down with you all and talk about some of the pictures I took in Bangladesh. So, without any further delay, let's take a look at the photos I took. So, in the beginning, I thought because of the heat, some of my films got damaged and they all have a magenta look. But that was not the case because half of my film had proper colors and half of them did not. And it was the same thing with the last roll. Then I realized the day that I got out, for some very weird reason, in the morning the sky was very reddish. Because of that, as soon as I look at the photos the first time, I thought, okay, the heat probably destroyed the film. But it was not the case. It's all the pollution that destroyed the environment of Bangladesh. So very early in the morning, around like 8 o'clock, I decided to stop by the school that I used to attend back in Bangladesh. So the day I went to that school, it was some examination going on and I didn't see that much kids, but I saw this kid. He was preparing to go in for his exam. His exam would have started at 10 and I was there at like 8. He was very curious about what I do and how I got here and all that stuff. And speaking to him made me realize how much I missed my school days. So after spending some time at my old campus, I decided to head out and see what else the Dhaka street has to offer for that day. So he just got those eggs from the farm, so they had a lot of manure and dirt on it. So he was just sitting there and cleaning those eggs. The man is suffering from vitiligo, which is causing depigmentation to his skin. I think the color of the eggs and the color of his skin really complement each other, and that's the main reason I took that photo. After spending some time at the street, I decided to go to my next stop, which was a hospital. So I stopped by this hospital that my cousin works at and I decided to speak to some patients. I speak to my cousin and he takes me to this department that treats patients that are coming in with tumors in their brain. He's like about 2.5 years old. This is his second time coming back to the hospital. He had a tumor that had been removed before and apparently that tumor is growing back. So he had to come back for another surgery. I tried to take the picture in such a way that the audience will have an emotional connection with the subject. But I think I did a terrible job at this. I kind of sort of made him look like a meme, which I wasn't planning to do, but চোখে হালকা দেখো কোন চোখে কোন চোখে দেখো না সো ওর ব্রেন টিউমারের জন্য 4বার সার্জারি করা হয়েছে সো ডাক্তার কি বলতেছে এখন ওর I was talking to this man. He looks like a kid, but he's about 19 years old. He had 2 brain surgeries prior to this picture. He's coming back here for his 3rd brain surgery and he's kind of nervous because the doctor told him if this surgery doesn't go right, he might not make it. I spent some time trying to speak to him, trying to talk to him. It seemed like he was a little bit in the cloud, he didn't really had any interest of speaking with me. So I left him alone and it kind of got a little too gloomy for me, so I just decided to leave the hospital. Remember the photo I showed you guys in last episode of this man? He was walking by. This is the same man. I came in early in the morning and I saw him cleaning the premises, so I took a photo of him. This is the other side of the staircase that I took a photo of. If you put those two photos right next to each other, this is exactly how the campus looks. I really love this photo. I think the colors and the shadow and the light looks very beautiful in here. This is something I would actually print and put it on my wall. This is the graveyard of Kazi Nazrul Islam. I showed you guys a photo of this graveyard in the last episode when I took the picture from much farther away. But the second day the place was open, so I decided to go in and take a photo up close. I really like this photo. I took this photo at this place called Sorowardi Uddan. They have this little place in this Sorowardi Uddan where old cars come to die. This man, he was sitting there selling some teas and aloe vera. I tried my best to get him without any traffic going on, but it was very hard. By this time it was around 10 o'clock in the morning. The traffic was really catching up. I tried to take a photo of him without this rickshaw, but I miserably failed. But I really like this man in the back who's like drinking something. So this little family, they have this small hotel on the sidewalk. The time I went there, they were making some dough to make some roti. And I asked him, hey, if I could take some photos of you. They were really excited. It seems like everybody in Bangladesh is reading newspaper. I think Bangladesh have the most number of newspaper consumer. Everywhere I go, especially in the morning, the uncles and the elders, they were always reading newspaper, middle of the street, or in a bus, or in their rickshaw, and I found it really beautiful. I saw this man on the street. I asked him if I could take a photo of him. The man was really excited to pose for me, but he really wanted to see that picture, and there was nothing I could tell him to make him understand that these are analog photos and I would have to take it back, develop it, scan it. At one point he just gave up and said, okay, whenever you get the pictures, can you send it to my son? Can you add him on Facebook and send it to him? I was like, yeah, sure. I sent his son a friend request. He has yet to accept it, and I have yet to send him these photos. So this man here, he's a worker from Dhaka City Corporation. You see, Bangladesh and especially Dhaka have a huge mosquito problem, especially during the rainy seasons, and sometimes during the summer there's a dengue epidemic that goes on, and the city have a really hard problem containing these mosquitoes. So they would send out these people with this huge tank of gas, and they would go around and spray the whole city with this gas. And there's a saying in Bangla called Mosha marte kaman daga, which means pulling out the tank to kill a mosquito. I think this photo itself is a perfect representation of that phrase. মশা মারতে কামান দাগা। After taking some photo of this guy with the kaman who's killing Mosha, I decided to go to my cousin's house and call it a day. By this time it was 1 p.m. and the heat was really starting to get to me. There was a construction going on in front of my cousin's house, so I took pictures of the construction workers. There's a lot of things going on in this photo which I really love. There's these 3 guys that are picking up small pieces of brick, and there's this guy who's putting big bricks onto this machine which is breaking up the big bricks and making them small piece. And there's another man who's just crossing the street. This is a really beautiful picture. And this was the last photo in this roll. Thank you for being here. I'll see you all in the next episode. And until then, stay safe and goodbye.